Hey guys, what's going on? Oaken here from Outbound Intent, and today I want to cover how Jimmy closed 222,000 in annual recurring revenue, or 18,500 in monthly recurring revenue, within just 7 weeks of us working together. He did all of this with under 1,000 followers and under 200 connections. To make it even more impressive, Jimmy does cold outbound, right, with email for very specific, high level, very unengaged on LinkedIn niche. Okay. Now, I'll jump into exactly how he's done that in just a second, but I want to share with you a little bit of proof because proof is gold these days, right? Everybody wants to see some kind of proof. Now, I will have to be very honest with you. Jimmy asked to remain nameless because he was having issues with competitors stealing his clients. So he's going to remain nameless within this. However, I will share with you some WhatsApp conversations that we've been having and the information that he's been sending to me. So at this point, it was a few weeks ago now. Now he was about 7 weeks at this point into the program. So this was a month, right? So at 1 month, he had booked 17 meetings. He had disqualified 6 of them, right? So that leaves over 11. 2 out of those 11 he hadn't met with yet, but they're booked for a discovery call, and so that leaves 9. And he's closed 2 out of the 9 and has 7 proposals out there in the negotiation phase. That's a 22% close rate on qualified opportunities as it stands. And he had added £14,000 monthly recurring revenue to the business. Bearing in mind, this guy also takes a percentage off the back end as well. So any deals he gets through for his clients, he also takes a percentage as well. So this is just his base rate. Cool. Then a couple of days later, he sent me this one. So he had just signed his 4th client of the month. To be clear, one of those was from the other stuff that he does to bring in clients. So he also does cold outbound, although since then he's told me he's stopped his own cold outbound because he's just getting too much come through LinkedIn, which is wild. But so to be clear, he said 4 clients closed of the month, but 3 of them were from the work that we had been doing together. Okay, so in total from the 4, he closed 24,500, but 3 of those were from the work we had been doing together. And I asked him, just to be clear, I'm doing a post at this at the moment, and I was building this, and he said how much of the new MRL came from the 3, right? 18,500. So there you have it. There's the 18,500 in new monthly recurring revenue that he's closed for his business, or 222,000 annual recurring revenue that he's closed for his business. It's just through LinkedIn in just 7 weeks of us working together. Okay, cool. So let's jump into exactly how this goes. And it's very, very simple. What we'll cover is how he finds his dream clients, how he uses one message to offer value up front, how he uses his email to double tap leads, how he follows up without being pushy, and exactly how you can apply this to your business. Okay, cool. So we'll jump in. How he finds his dream clients. He literally just uses Sales Navigator. Okay, he applies specific filters that are super niche, so revenue amounts that the company's doing, how long people have been in the position, in the position that they're in the business, so that he knows that they are of authority. You know, if somebody's a CEO or managing director, but they've only been there for 6 months, and they might not have the decision-making power quite yet, although they technically do in the company. So he's made sure that they have a long enough standing in the company, and that they are of a decision-maker title. What he really does is he checks every single lead and company data. So he manually goes in and he looks. Like, he won't send a connection unless he's very sure that that company does have enough revenue or close enough revenue to be able to afford his service and really be able to be set up for scale, because his service works. It works very well. So he wants to be able to set up for scale as well. Then what he does is he sends out blank connections. Doesn't say anything in the connection notes or anything. He just sends out blank connections. And he does this somewhere around the 10 to 20 a day. Again, he's super, super niche. I would generally recommend that the majority of people send out 20 to 30 connections a day, and that they don't necessarily spend a lot of time going through each different company profile. But if you are super niche, then it is definitely worth doing. Cool, so that's literally it. That's how he finds his dream clients. He finds them in Sales Navigator, and we'll go through how he also uses Apollo with this a little bit later to find the emails as well. Cool, so how he uses one message to offer value up front. So what we did was we worked together and we looked into how we're going to reach out to these people who are very unengaged. To be clear, these are very high up level people in an industry that, one, is unengaged on LinkedIn, but two, these kind of people are very unengaged on LinkedIn. They don't want to chit chat, right? So we decided that it needs to be a message of value. He needs to offer value up front and be very direct and very clear with what he's connecting with them for. And obviously use his content to build authority in the back end. So if he sends that connection request out, like he does with this, to his dream clients, then they see his account and they go, oh, okay, I know what he does. It's very clear in his title. They'll see it straight away. It's very clear in his banner. They'll see it straight away. And if they're interested to see more, they'll go down. They'll see case studies in the featured section, and they'll also see content that positions him as an authority as well. Even though he literally gets, I think, 0 comments on 99% of his posts, and he only posts 3 times a week. So, it's more just about having that authority built there. So back to how he uses one message. So he sends a message to all new connections, everybody who's connected. He sends multiple lines, which sends multiple notifications, which, one, I would always suggest people do, but two, it's extra good if they are an unengaged audience, right? So multiple notifications is going to help them see that on their account. Especially with LinkedIn's awful inbox, right? So the message does 4 things, message that we created. And I'll show you the message in just a second. We'll go through each different actual message that he sends and the follow-ups as well. So the message does 4 things. Number 1, it compliments. Number 2, it offers specific value. Number 3, it asks for permission. And number 4, it removes friction. Okay? Done. Now here's the message. Message number 1, and we've got message number 2, that's if they've replied, right? And then we've got 1, 2, 3 follow-ups, okay? So message number 1, we've got, hey name, thanks for connecting, send. Short, relevant compliment. It might be congrats on X amount of time in your role. It might be congrats on this recent project that you guys have just posted about, or something that they've said on their website, right? So something specific, something that you've shown you've done your due diligence, that you've done your digging. Something specific, okay? And something relevant as well. Let's not talk about, I don't know, something that's completely irrelevant to their business, right? We don't want to talk about a post about their dog if we're trying to sell them branding services, right? So a short, relevant compliment, send, right? I did some digging and found number of relevant, valuable thing, send. Happy to share what I found, right? Send, and then no obligation, send, and then sent you an email too, as LinkedIn's notifications aren't great. We'll cover how to find that email and what to say in there as well in just a moment. So what does this message do? It thanks them for connecting, so it reminds them that they accepted a connection request. They took an action, which is an intent trigger. A short, relevant compliment, so it compliments. I did some digging and found number of relevant, valuable thing. Happy to share what I found. Question mark. Send, right? So what it does is it offers a valuable thing, right? This could be, let's say you do SEO services, right? You could say, I did some digging and I found 3, areas on a website where you could increase load speed by X, right? Or I did some digging and found 3 blogs that would be perfect for backlinks for you, right? Happy to share what I found, right? Something like that. Or let's say you're doing, lead gen or something for some specific niche, right? That's the niche that I'm in. Let's say that I was doing that for someone, and I could reach out to somebody and I could say, hey, name, I did some digging and I found 3 perfect clients in your area, or 3 perfect clients in your niche. that could be worth X amount, right? Happy to share what I found, right? Something like that. It could be if you're in the, I don't know, sport niche, right? If you're a personal trainer to CEOs or something. I did some digging and found, 6 different recipes, or if maybe you help people who have whoops, right? You know that they have a whoop, and you go, I did some digging and found 3 different markers that could help you improve your sleep score, or something like that, right? The point is that you did some digging and you found 3 valuable things that you can give to someone for free. So it's offering value, right? Remember, that's the second thing that it does. Then what it does is asks permission. Happy to share what I found with a question mark, right? So it's like, I'd love to give it to you, but do you even want it, right? So that is just asking permission. And that removes friction by saying no obligation, okay? Cool. So if they respond, what he'll do is he'll just straight away send the thing, right? They've said, yes, I want the thing, so he'll give it to them instantly, okay? Some people, again, this is a very unengaged niche. So if you're working with a very unengaged, sorry, I'm not sure. One sec. Sorry, somebody was blending something in the background. I'm traveling. Cool. So if you are working with a very unengaged niche, right, these higher level, these CXOs, just giving them the value straight up is going to be really valuable, right? Whereas if it's somebody who's a bit more chatty, you might get, awesome, cool, what I'll do is I'll just share it below and then you send it below, right? If you're looking to valuable thing, send. If you're looking to goal, send. Again, what we're doing is we're adding lots of sends here. We're adding lots of notifications, and it also definitely can't be automated if we're doing this. We're going send, okay? I'd love to share a few ideas on how you could outcome/more of valuable things, right? So I'd love to, cool. If you're looking to fit fitness around your busy work schedule, if you're looking to generate more leads in this niche, if you're looking to grow, if you're looking to appeal to enterprise clients, right? If you're looking to improve your site speed or, rank higher on Google, I'd love to share a few ideas about how you could get a 6-pack around your busy work schedule, right? Increase your site speed, about how you could whatever, right? More of valuable things, right? So how you could access even more of those leads that I just gave you, how you get the picture, okay? And desire, right? So I'd love to share more about how you could outcome/more of valuable things and scale and feel healthier and you get the idea, okay? We're sending after each one of these. Mind if I send over a couple of times for a quick 10-minute chat? Now again, this is a very unengaged audience of CXOs, of people who really want to get this done. So yours might be 2 more messages. It might be this, right? And desire. Is that something you think about much? Is that something that you're open to? Something like that, right? And then if they send another thing back saying, yeah, totally, then you could be like, cool, wanted to have a 10-minute chat. But again, this does also really work. You've added value. You've highlighted the fact that you have a ton more of where that came from, right? There's more where that came from. Do you want to have a call? Okay. That's pretty much it. That's all he does. He uses those 2 messages. And again, we'll go over how he uses email to also double tap them. And essentially from this, he moves people over to email because that's where his audience is more engaged. So always move to wherever the audience is more engaged or wherever they respond, okay? Cool. Now, follow-ups. Follow-ups are just the most important thing anybody could do. If you're not following up, then it's just absolutely should be number 1 on your priorities list. I think HubSpot put it out. It's something like 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 12th follow-up these days. So follow-ups are absolutely paramount. However, we want to do this without being pushy. We want to do this without being annoying, right? Now, if you don't want to be salesy, then maybe you shouldn't be trying to run a business, but we don't want to be pushy, okay? You have to sell something. That's what we're here for. And if you can really help somebody, then it's your obligation to sell it. I know that's a cliche in sales, but it's true. Okay, so follow-up 1. What we do is we use a voice note. And it's literally just goes, hey name, hope you're having a great week. Quick question, did you get my last message? Right? Voice notes stand out. Voice notes stand and humanize you. Stand out. Stand out and humanize you. A selfie video is even better, okay? So you can get your phone and you can go, hey name, right? Hope you're having a great week, or hope you had a great weekend. Real quick question for you. I'm just wondering if you saw my last message. Cheers. Okay? It's very simple. It's very easy. We don't need to zazz it up. We don't need to sit here 10 minutes thinking about what to say. Just be a human, right? If you were in a social situation, you wouldn't be weird about it. You would just be like, oh, did you get my message I sent you the other day? Right? You just bumped into somebody. That's what you would do, wouldn't it? And if nobody responds to that, right? And at any point, if they respond to any of these, right, and they go, oh, sorry about that. Yes, I want the thing, or no, I don't want the thing, right? If you want, yes, I want the thing, send them, go straight back to here. Right? The next follow-up is, hey, saw something something recent and relevant, short compliment. So you kind of like do another little compliment, okay? So when you're going to follow up these guys, you just check a recent post, you check a recent thing that they did, check another thing on their website, something relevant, showing that, again, you're doing due diligence, you're still doing digging, okay? Something relevant. And you go, hey, name, I saw something recent and relevant, short compliment, send. That's it. You leave it. Follow-up number 3, right? Hi, name. Circling back one last time on this, send. Here's how we helped competitor get big outcome in time frame. Link to case study. So it's a bit more salesy, okay? But it's essentially you're just circling back one last time and you're trying to trigger that emotional, like, don't want to miss out and, oh my God, they're getting this for my competitors, okay? So we helped this competitor get this big outcome in this time frame, and you literally just put a link to the case study. And that's going to like pull people in. Okay? And that is the entire outreach process that he does. Cool. So how he uses email to double tap leads. Okay, double tap being a double notification or hitting them in 2 places. So once a DM is sent, he uses Apollo. Apollo is like a database tool where you can generate, you can filter. It's kind of like Sales Navigator, right? But on a different scale, where you can filter by a lot of different things, right? But it also gets business emails and emails. So, but what you can do is you can use it, and it's a little thing that pops up here, right? And you can get people's emails straight from LinkedIn. So when they accept a connection request, you just open up Apollo, and then it will come up with their email if it has it, and you can just take the email straight from there and send them a message, right? And you send them a message with pretty much exactly the same message. I'm not going to go over them here because they are literally pretty much exactly the same that you send in the email, apart from the fact that you would say, P.S. sent you a DM on LinkedIn too, right? So they can go to LinkedIn and they can see the human side of you, because email, the problem is that it's so inhuman, right? Even if somebody books a call through you, they still haven't seen your face. They still don't know who you are. So when you send one through email and then they check you out on LinkedIn, they see your content, they see your authority, they see what you do, who you are, how you help, all of that. So it really builds that link. If anybody's doing cold outreach on email, then I would definitely recommend starting to say, hey, here's my LinkedIn, or I sent you a DM on LinkedIn too. Obviously you can't do the same volume, but it's a really valuable thing to say, here's my LinkedIn, drop me a DM if that's easier for you, right? So both say he sent the other, okay? Hitting them where they're most active. Then he moves all chats to email where his target audience is the most conversational. Done, okay? So really this just shouldn't take much time. You build one list, you look through, that would probably take the most time. Anybody who accepts your connection request, you send this to, you get the email, you send the email, right? And then 1 day after, if they haven't responded, you send this. 3 days after that, you send this. 5 days after that, you send this. It's very simple. Very, very simple. You only need a little Google sheet to track this. Cool. So now, well, how he follows up without being pushy. I've actually just been through that. I jumped ahead of myself, didn't I? But if the lead doesn't respond, he follows up 3 times on both DM and email, okay? Again, this is what he says in the emails as well. Obviously, you can't really send a voice note on email. You could send a selfie video, but you pretty much say exactly the same thing, just put it in text. In the DMs, he uses voice notes because they stand out. On email, he responds to the same email thread, doesn't send new emails. So once you send an email, you can still respond to an email thread, even if you haven't, even if they haven't responded to you, right? So you can still keep it in the same thread. You just change the subject slightly. Most respond, but those who don't, he moves on. Remember, you can always engage later if you haven't burnt the lead. So this is why we don't be too pushy. This is why we use these strategies to be very clear with people and very honest with people. Because if you burn the lead, you burn the lead and you can never get back to them. Okay, done. Cool, so this guy's very niche, right? This guy's very specific. This guy is, he might be a very different audience to you. You've got a different audience, he's got a different offer. Right? So how can you apply this to your business? Well, let's take a quick look. So how you can apply this to your business. Look at the simple process. See how simple this is. You literally just find the right people on SalesNav, not hard to do. Send out connections to the right people, not hard to do. Anybody who connects, you send that first message, not hard to do, okay? You just have to go find those few valuable things. It could even be a lead magnet that you've put together that you don't have to go find, right? It could be like, I just created this thing for X person, okay? That's what we're about to jump into. So just look how simple the process is. And again, you don't even have to do email, okay? It's like if your audience is super engaged on LinkedIn, just do the DMs. So think of what your audience wants and create a list of them. Right? So how can you create lead magnets? How can you create breakdowns? How can you create templates, trainings, right? So these things, it doesn't have to be, I need to go and find leads. It doesn't have to be that. You could, let's say your audience is like, I don't know, creatives on LinkedIn or something, or e-commerce companies, right? You could just, and what you do is like build landing pages and increase click-through rate, right? And conversion rate optimization, right? Something like that. You could just build a template, or you could literally just go, I want to improve one of your, I've looked at a couple of your landing pages and I think I can improve your click-through rate by X percentage. Mind if we split test that? And if it works, we could talk more. If an e-commerce company doing like 500K or $1 million a year or 5-10 million a year gets a 2% increase in click-through rate on their page, it's wild for them. Something like that is just a no-brainer for them, and they can just do a split test. If you can offer to increase that, that's so much money for them. So just think about your target audience. What do they need? And how can you just give them that thing, or a small piece of that thing, or a trial of that thing? Lead magnets, breakdown templates. This thing that I'm doing right here, right now, this thing that I'm building, that you're literally watching right now, is one of those things, okay? Cool, so how can you quickly package that up? A personalized Loom breakdown, personalized one, right? So, I think you could do these things on your site to increase your click-through rate. Cool, you can go do a Loom on that, right? A free video edit, right? So maybe you're a video editor and you're like, oh cool, I'll just edit one of your videos for free and see if it got way more reach than the last one. And if it did, then we can chat. It's like, is that cool? It's like, yeah, that's cool, right? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does work, then cool, let's chat. Right? A free post, you're a content creator, right? Potential leads. Are you someone like me? Can you just give someone a potential lead? A playbook, right? I'm currently building a playbook, a LinkedIn playbook that people can download so that they can actually just start generating leads on LinkedIn for free, because there's way too much trash out there, right? A Miro board plus Loom. Hello, that's what I'm doing right now, right? Something easy and digestible. Reach out, give them a short compliment, right? Keep it relevant, keep it short. Don't use the word I love. Be genuine, okay? You're not going to reach out and go, I love this thing that you did. It was just so amazing. It's so awesome, right? Nobody cares. Nobody knows who you are. So just be like, I often just use like, hey, congrats on 6 years being a founder. I know it's not easy out there. Move into my next question, okay? That's like my go-to, right? It could be your headline. Oh, I love, bang a headline. Super clear who and how you help. Or looks like you've got a great offer. You must be killing it on LinkedIn, because if they're not killing it, then that's a pain point, right? So just look at something that's really simple. Keep it short, keep it sweet, and really only one thing, okay? And really avoid words like I love, and just be a genuine fucking human, okay? And you don't have to use email. Think about your target audience and are they engaged on LinkedIn? If they're not, then use LinkedIn as well as email and mention that you're also on LinkedIn and send them a link to there so that you can build that personalized side of it aside from email. But if they are engaged, then you might not need email. Email might be a great addition to do, but you might not need it. Just do it in the DMs. I personally don't use email. Now remember, a 65-year-old male like CFO, right, chief financial officer, will respond very differently to a 25-year-old marketing director, 22-year-old like female marketing director, right? These people are going to be responding very differently on LinkedIn. One of them are going to be much more responsive to email. One of them is going to be much more responsive to DMs. One of them is going to want a little bit more of a chatty side of it. But that doesn't mean that you can't take this same compliment, offer value, ask for permission, and remove friction. You're just going to use slightly different words, okay? It's exactly the same thing that you're going to be doing. Cool. So then what you do is you ask for permission. I keep jumping ahead of myself, don't I? You ask for permission. You ask for permission first, and then you give, and then you invite, okay? So you say, hey, I've got this pretty thing. Would you like it? Yes, I'd love it. Amazing. Would you like more of that? I'm running this thing. Or would you like more of that? I have a time that's available. Or something along those lines, right? So when somebody says, yes, please send it, they buy in. It also triggers reciprocity, which is a powerful social tool, right? Where if you give them something valuable and they receive that and they get actual value out of it, they feel like they owe you, right? It's very easy to book a call with somebody who you've given a very valuable thing to and they've consumed it and they're like, fuck, that was awesome, thank you. Right? It's very easy to then be like, cool, do you want more, right? Cool. Send multiple messages. Whenever you do these things, don't send somebody a paragraph or block of text. Send multiple messages. They get multiple notifications and it feels way more chatty. When you're texting your friend, do you send a whole paragraph or do you send like 6 one-liners? I hate people who do that, but you send like a bunch of one-liners and it's just much more personalized and it's definitely not automation. Okay, so send multiple messages to get multiple notifications. We all know that LinkedIn's inbox sucks, so this can be super handy. It also definitely isn't automation. Right, remove friction. Finish with no obligation. Finish with something like on me, of course, right? Or no pressure, right? You know, even if you're booking a call, you can say, please leave your card at home. This is a no pressure call, okay? It's important to do something like that. I know somebody who did really well with booking calls and he basically said, I generate you leads so you don't have to. If that's of interest, then cool, let me know. But also happy to network and chill, right? So it just removed all the friction from that pitch slap. Like otherwise that would just be a pitch slap that you'd send to somebody and they'd be like, fuck off, right? But just saying also happy to network and chill is like funny because it's Netflix and chill, right? But it also just completely removes that, like all of that pressure. It's a great process. Cool. Keep it short and clear. So nobody wants to read an essay. Keep it short. Extend a hand. If there's a nibble, edge closer. Do the next step. Guys, done. That's it. It's really, really, really simple. Fundamentally, you just create a thing, right, that you know is valuable and that you can just give away. You offer somebody a thing in their kind of language, which you should know if they're your ICP, right? You know your target audience. You offer them a thing and ask for permission to send it over. Send it in multiple messages. You remove the friction. You give the thing and then you offer more of the thing. That's it. That's really, really it. This is exactly how Jimmy closed 222,000 in annual recurring revenue or 18,500 in monthly recurring revenue in 7 weeks with under 200 connections and under 1,000 followers. I can't stress this enough. It does not require 50,000 followers to make money on LinkedIn. Okay, guys, that's it. Obviously, you know, I do help people do this kind of stuff. So if you want any more kind of assets, you want any more kind of information, I'm going to be launching a YouTube soon. Head over to my LinkedIn profile and follow my content there. If you're open to it and you are looking for some more help, click visit my website on any of my posts or on my profile and take a look there as well. Also, if you got this by email, you could drop me an email or whatever. But guys, look, I really, really hope that this helps you. because it doesn't have to be hard. You don't need 1,000 followers. You don't need complicated funnels. You don't need any of that stuff. So guys, I really, really hope this helps. Go smash it, and looking forward to the next one. Catch ya.